Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Steve with Real Progressives. I'm on the ride home from Washington, D.C. back to Pennsylvania. And, we couldn't find the video that I did earlier today when I was live at at the rally. We couldn't find it. Facebook had flagged it because there was music in the background, so they went ahead and took it down. We went ahead, said screw it, and we put it back up. So the video is available for you to see now in its entirety. But what I wanted to talk to you about was I got some feedback. People are asking me, they're like, Steve, you told these people that we could lower taxes and still provide these services? That message is going to be tough for people to understand. I don't get it, right? So I'm going to take you to Medicare for All for a minute. Had Warren Mosler on, a couple months back. And we talked about Medicare for All. We talked about the structure of taxes, why the headline left is pushing to pay for Medicare for All, raising taxes. Well, we know that taxes don't fund spending at the federal level, so why would they raise taxes? And what it comes down to is because you and I believe that taxes pay for things, they're trying to placate the least of us that don't have a clue, and so they'll go ahead and jack up taxes to pay for things, right? The problem is this. Our medical system is extremely inefficient today. It's extremely inefficient. Tons and tons of paperwork, tons of bullshit administrative jobs, you name it. But all these jobs create economic activity. Okay. So when you have economic activity, trading, hours for dollars, things like that, those jobs, right? That is what keeps our economy alive and well. I hate to say that. Our health suffers, but there's jobs, shitty private sector jobs. Now, what happens if we take that and we get rid of some of the nonsense, some of these insurance companies, and we make it Medicare for all, for real? Now, all of a sudden, what we've done is we've reduced a tremendous amount of complexity in the system. We have literally eliminated much of the economic activity of all that paper pushing back and forth, all the different things that allow us to make money off of inefficiency, right? And naturally, inefficiency, being a great job creator, is also something that keeps the economic activity way high. Well, Warren Mosler said point blank, Medicare for all, quite frankly, would be deflation. If we don't lower taxes, we may have to lower taxes in order to make Medicare for all work in this country. Well, that violates every narrative of the left-right divide. That violates every narrative that you hear on the mainstream media. That violates everything that you've ever been taught or everything you've ever thought. So this is what MMT does. It just destroys lies, right? It literally cuts through the political nonsense and gets straight to the point. And so in this particular case, I went to a rally that turned out to be a Trump rally. And so my audience was Republicans. My audience was people that want to drain the swamp. They want to make America great again. They want to do all these things. My job was to show them that you can make America great again and partner with progressives, so to speak, and win on these key ideas, right? The key ideas of taking care of the 99%. What happens when you go ahead and you try to raise taxes? You know that group I spoke to today is going to vote against it 100 times out of 100. And you know that Republicans as a whole will vote against it. And then you look at centrist Dems. When you realize that most of the center-right Dems that are in this country would vote against their own self-interest and would vote against these things too, you realize that a huge amount of the public is right-wing, even if they don't realize they're right-wing. Okay? There's only a small amount that's quote-unquote left-wing. Very, very small comparatively. So how do you bridge the gap and get really robust progressive ideas actually passed and through, right? Well, their take in this rally was, hey, man, it's so corrupt. Let's get rid of everybody. Let's drain the swamp, whatever. Hey, look, there's, I think we all agree. Congress doesn't serve our needs. I think we all agree the presidency doesn't serve our needs, although they would say it does. I would suggest I haven't seen a president in a very long time, maybe even in my lifetime, that represented the people. So when you have a situation like that, How do you present that message? Do you go to a Republican enclave and talk about raising taxes to pay for a progressive agenda? I think not. And why would you, when you know that it is literally deflationary? It's just something that is going to cause problems. It's going to cause chaos. It's going to cause a depression possibly because of the lack of economic activity by making the system efficient. It's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? So when you think about this, remember, the answer is not always to raise taxes to pay for things. The answer is not always to cut taxes. The answer is evaluate. What do you have? And that doesn't fit on a bumper sticker, does it? That does not fit on a bumper sticker. And most people only have time for a bumper sticker. But when I was there live, in person with these people, I'm not joking with you. I was a bold progressive. I spoke very boldly about the things that I believe in. I didn't sit there and cower. I told them point blank that I felt like Bernie Sanders going into Liberty University. But they respected the hell out of me. I got more hugs. I'm not joking. I got hugs. I got people praying with me. I got people holding my hand and coming up and thanking me. So right, wrong, or indifferent, there is a message that you can send that will get people that you didn't think were your allies to be allies, if nothing but for one issue, maybe two issues, whatever. And if we could get past the idea of our economic system being this way or that way, instead of just realizing it's a tool, it's only bad if we use it badly. It's only good if we use it goodly. It's in and of itself is not inherently bad. We just have to know how to leverage it. But when they have almost the entire country under a spell of bipartisan bullshittery, okay, it's almost impossible to cut through that is the real psyop. People say MMT is the psyop. MMT is the thing that cuts through the bullshit, right? That's the deal. And this is the part that violates everyone's deeply held feelings. Politics is nothing more than a religion. But when you talk about facts, and it slices through the political nature of it all, it gives you an opportunity. It gives you an opportunity to build widespread coalitions. So remember when I say this, we can indeed cut taxes. We can do these things. It's not going to bankrupt the country. These lies have kept us down for a very, very long time. So remember, depending upon what audience you're in, you have to change your message up. You have to make sure you're speaking to them. I spoke about the veterans coming home with no care, being heroes or whatever. They had sacrificed everything but their life, and they're coming home to a place that hasn't made room for them, that isn't taking care of them, doesn't have health care for them. And then I moved on and I talked about autism, and almost 3/4 of the audience raised their hand when I said, do you have a person in your family that has autism? Literally almost all raised their hands. Then a young man, and I swear to God, this made me really swell up with tears. There was a young man there and he had a Make America Great Again hat. He was a Trump supporter and he was autistic. And he came up to me and he was looking kind of away. And he says, I just want you to know that what you said to me today really, really made me feel incredible. Thank you so much for saying that. I can't tell you how that touched me, right? I was speaking and an autistic kid came up to me to let me know that he heard what I was saying and it really, really hit him good. He really appreciated what I said. So I'm trying really, really hard to take this message and make it so that you understand it's not political. Facts are that sometimes we can cut taxes. We don't need to pay for things with taxes. Sometimes we have to raise taxes. Sometimes we have to lower taxes. But taxes in and of themselves don't pay for these programs. So we can build coalitions to enact huge, huge, sweeping changes. Shoot for the moon, as Guillaume said. Shoot for the moon. But it's going to take getting them to understand the realm of possibilities. It's going to take getting others to understand the realm of possibilities. Now, I will tell you, the YouTube video that was taken for that march, if you look in the comments, I was eviscerated by the right wing. They literally tore me apart. And that's okay, because, homie, I got broad shoulders. I'm used to trolls. I'm used to bad people. I'm used to people with egos attacking me. And I always get back up, man. I never stay down for long. And you don't have to own it either. You can talk to people and say, this is just the facts, and know in advance when you're going in for the kill shot, when you're going in to explain to them how our economic system works so that they aren't thinking they got to raise taxes. Remember this. It's going to be a shock to their system. It's going to be a shock to their system. It's going to be difficult to hear. But don't be a wimp. Don't be in political expediency. Tell the truth. Live in the truth. And make sure that you start whittling away at people nonstop. Never, ever, ever stop eroding those bad beliefs. Because the more we can convert, the more we can teach, the more we can expand our influence, the stronger the message gets and the closer we are to having real radical change in this country and changing us from consumption units back into human beings again, back into families again, back into communities again, instead of just being these little flesh-based consumption units. So remember, Medicare for all may very well be deflationary, may very well require a tax cut, because when government solutions are done correctly, they're far more efficient, they don't have a profit motive, and they may cause even less economic activity, which will slow the economy down. So you've got to stimulate the economy, and this is where keeping more cash in the 99%'s pockets is actually a benefit. I'm Steve Grumbine with Real Progressives, folks. Thank you so much for following us. Thank you so much for donating and helping us. Thank you so much for believing in this mission. I swear to God, I wish I could have picked a different mission sometimes, because the mission we've chosen is probably the most difficult of the bunch, because we've got so much stuff we got to get past. We've got so many myths and legends we got to slice through just to be able to make the difference that we're trying to do. So please don't give up on us. Keep helping us. We need your help. I'm Steve Grumbine again with Real Progressives. Have a great day, everyone.